Deerfield IMG College. Welcome to Nick McDevitt Live, powered by Middle Tennessee Electric, your locally owned electric cooperative and your trusted energy advisor. Our coverage is also brought to you by Ascend Federal Credit Union, the exclusive credit union of Blue Raider Athletics, and by Ascension St. Thomas, official hospital partner of MTSU. Be part of the show by emailing your questions to radio@goblueraiders.com. Now, here is your host, the voice of the Blue Raiders, Chip Walters.
Welcome in, everybody, to another edition of Nick McDevitt Live. Glad to have you along with us tonight on this snowy night in Middle Tennessee. Our show is presented by Middle Tennessee Electric. Service to make your life better, energy, service, life. And we will start out tonight's show by wishing Godspeed and the best to all of the linemen who are out there working in this, because this type of weather, the ice, the sleet, that means growing up as the son of a lineman, they're going to be out there for a long time. And fortunately here in our area, MTE has very little outages, so they've done a great job with their infrastructure there. So that being said, a tip of the hat to our presenting sponsor, Coach Nick McDevitt, joining us live on Zoom tonight. And Coach, how are you doing?
Doing well, and I echo your thoughts. My mother worked at an electric company for over 40 years, and so although she wasn't climbing the poles, she certainly had a lot of coworkers that did. And when weather like this hit, she spent a lot of long hours at the office trying to help people get their power back. So it was long hours and around the clock on Saturdays, Sundays, linemen using their four-wheel drive trucks to come pick her up at our house to get her to work. So I know firsthand as well, growing up in a household where somebody works for the electric company, what weather like this, the disruption not only it causes for those who lose power, but for the ones that are helping try to get it back on.
Now, you grew up in the Asheville area, and you all had more snow. Now, what we got here this week with the sleet and the freezing rain, just a totally different animal.
It is. It's impossible really to drive on ice. I mean, snow isn't easy, but ice is a whole different animal. And whether it's heavy snow or that ice, when it starts getting on trees, particularly in the mountains, they're usually falling all over power lines. And, that dusting of snow doesn't bother you too much, but when the weight of that gets on the trees, and on those lines, it's hard. It's rough.
On Coach Ensel's show, they were talking about 1993 and a big snowstorm that hit
March. I was in the 8th grade. March of 93.
I know you keep bringing up these years and what where you were in those years. We were going to have a talk about that. But anyway, I was in college no, I was not. I was out of college already. But the girls' state tournament was going on here, and Coffee County was in the state finals, and the snow hit on Friday night. And Coffee County being so close, none of their fans were staying here. They had all gone back to Manchester, and it hit. They closed down Highway 41 and also I-24. And it was almost very similar to what we have seen this year. There was nobody in the building other than the two teams, and also just the folks who were working. But I was actually doing PA for that state championship game, and it was very, very odd. And one of the things I remember when I saw a story about 93 was Mount LeConte, which was not far from where you grew up, had 60 inches of snow from that storm.
It was crazy. I remember, from when the wind was blowing the snow around and up towards the house, some of the drifts that were up near our house were 7, 8 feet high. There was close to touching the eaves, the overhang of our roof. So my sister and I, we're building tunnels in the yard and out in the driveway in the snow. From that perspective, it was a lot of fun when you're 13 and my younger sister was 9. And so we had a big time in it, but for everybody else, it was a rough go there for a while.
How long did that hang around? Because That's a lot of snow to have to melt.
Ooh, it was a lot of snow, a lot of snow. I mean, it was weeks. I mean, it was, you're stuck there for a while at the house.
Well, here again, we didn't have that ton of snow, but we had the sleet and the ice and made things uh, pretty tough. So, what did you guys do, or were you able to? All your guys lived nearby, but still, it was pretty dangerous out there. And I know you guys. Number one, safety is what's on your mind of your kids.
Absolutely. It's first and foremost all the time. So for us today, we gave the guys, an additional day off from a full team practice. And for those guys who over the weekend played lesser minutes, they were able to, if they wanted to, get a workout in. But we had some guys that were, high octane game, with that fast paced style that Marshall plays. Had a couple guys that were in the 30, 33, 35 plus minutes 2 nights in a row. And we've got a really good La Tech team coming in here this weekend. So we gave those guys an additional day off. We'll have Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday of organized prep. Friday we'll have a shoot around. So we'll get ready for these guys on Friday, Saturday.
Yeah, the and timing is everything. And I was kind of concerned about you guys coming back from Huntington, but you beat the weather, got back. One of the things we've done almost every week during this show, during our first segment, is just kind of get an update on where we are with the management of your roster, because when we first started back in January, we were balancing who was there, who was not with COVID, and a couple of weeks after that, you kind of started to get everybody back, and then since then you've had obviously Donovan, you've had Dontrell and Jared. From a health standpoint, where do you think you stand right now?
We're in decent shape right now. Where we should get Donovan and Jared back this week. They're probably just a couple of days away from being full go. Donovan's looked good, and his rehab has been just really working, really diligent with his rehab. Reese has done a terrific job getting him going again. So he should be back soon. He's been off crutches for about a week now. So Jared Jones as well, coming off of his concussion, should be back the middle of this week. So, obviously Dontrell is probably about a week away from having his surgery on his ACL. He's still doing some strengthening things on the pre-surgery side, which cuts down your recovery time post-surgery. So he's been really doing a lot of work with Reese in that department. So should get those two guys, Donovan and Jared, back later on this week.
Well, that'll be good because you're going to need all hands on deck for a really good Louisiana Tech team that beat UAB twice over the weekend. But the thing with Dontrell that's interesting, because most of the time you see kids who get injured, they quickly try to get that surgery done as quickly as possible. But in this sense, because of the way the injury is, I'm guessing that he still has some mobility with it. Is that the case?
Yeah, that's right. Still has, fortunately, I guess it was the best case scenario of what we knew was going to be bad. And that was that the knee was most likely he had a season ending injury. It turned out that it was, and I use this term, carefully, it was only the ACL. He didn't have any other ligaments that were damaged. So, fortunately we dodged a bullet, and it wasn't, a whole lot of other stuff going on with his knee. So he is able to rehab, get some more mobility, strengthening, some areas around that knee, so that once his surgery is done, he can kind of jump right in with his rehab really right away. They want him when he's done with his surgery, start to get that leg and that knee moving immediately, so it doesn't stiffen up.
What's their guesstimate on when he might be able to get back out and start getting a basketball in his hand?
Knowing Dontrell, he'll have a basketball in his hand the day after the surgery. He won't be running around. But generally speaking, you're looking 6 to 9 months, depending on
Wow.
your recovery efforts, what your access to recovery resources is. And fortunately for us, with our training staff, our doctors, the access and the medical attention he will get in the weight room, in the training room, the job that Reese does, led by Drew Shea, Jovan Shaw, who's our strength and conditioning coach, all terrific. And so the doctor's looking at kind of Dontrell's makeup already, his muscular build, et cetera, the muscles that he already has in his quads, up in his thighs, and that sort of thing, feel like he could be on the shorter end of that 6 to 9 months. So if you start looking at your calendar 6 months from now, you're talking about the first week of, the middle of August, really. Right now we're middle of February. So 6 months away, you're looking at the fall semester starting. So we're hoping to have him back full go when fall 21 comes around.
All right. Our opening segment is always brought to you by the Murfreesboro Post, covering daily news from Murfreesboro. Pick one up around town every Monday, or log on to murfreesboropost.com anytime. We'll take a time out. More with Coach Nick McDevitt after this on the Blue Raider Network from Learfield IMG College.
Quick cash could do you right. Quick cash could do you right. You could win some cash in an instant. You could win it later that night. Fun now, fun later. Add Quick Cash to a drawing game like Lotto America, Cash for Life, and even Tennessee Cash. Add Quick Cash to any of them, and you can win cash in a flash. Today's the day to play Quick Cash from the Tennessee Lottery. It's game-changing fun. Ooh. Now please play responsibly.
Love getting prices that are lower than low on backyard favorites like grill-ready hamburgers and fresh-picked strawberries? Then shop at Kroger. We give you more ways to save on the fresh you love with tools like the Kroger app, where you can find personalized coupons on top of weekly sales, plus rewards like fuel points, giving you prices that are lower than the everyday low. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Hey, Blue Raider fans. This is Dr. Mark Hardison with Middle Tennessee Oral and Implant Surgery. We are so proud to be able to serve the Blue Raider teams and their families when they need wisdom teeth removed, dental implants, or other specialty oral care. Our mission is to provide health care as it should be, providing compassion, availability, and excellence to every one of our patients. We deeply appreciate the support of your business as we join in supporting our team. Let's go Blue!
What do you think of when you hear community, integrity, commitment, tradition, and partners? The folks at Sodexo know it's family, friends, neighbors, and coworkers. The people we live with, work with, share our world with, and the fans we love to serve. Sodexo is community. It's a community of more than 200 employees and nonprofit volunteers and the thousands of fans we serve at MTSU. Sodexo is a community of people who are committed to enhancing your game day experience. Sodexo, proud server of your game day concession needs and proud to serve the Blue Raiders.
Murfreesboro, you can count on an award-winning service team for all your home maintenance and improvement needs. Lee Company, A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, recognized by Angie's List as a super service provider since 2008, is ready to assist with all your home maintenance needs. Heating and air conditioning, plumbing, electrical, home improvement, and more. Experience the convenience of calling one phone number for all your home maintenance and improvement needs. Call Lee Company today at 615-867-1000 or visit leecompany.com.
Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance takes great pride in treating Middle Tennessee State University athletes. Experts in bones, joints, and muscles, and with more than 60 specialists in locations across Middle Tennessee, TOA has a playbook to get you back in the game. To request an appointment, visit us at TOA.com or give us a call at 855-NEED-TOA. Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance, or TOA, the official team doctors for Blue Raider Athletics.
News Radio WGNS, the flagship station for Blue Raider sports.
I need to do that, don't I? Sounds a little better now. Welcome back into Nick McDevitt Live, presented by Middle Tennessee Electric, also sponsored this evening by Exit Realty, Bob Lamb and Associates, the #1 producing Exit Realty office in the United States. Find them online at exitmurfreesboro.com. And if you had to scrape your car windows this morning, they will sell you a house with a garage. So just give them a call. Coach McDevitt joins us, and the Blue Raiders went to Marshall. We'll talk a little bit about the Friday night game. And I'll tell you, Coach, I was guilty 7 years ago when Dan D'Antoni came in and brought this system that they call hillbilly ball, their style of play. And I thought, and I watched him, I said, well, here's a novelty, kind of like I was thinking about, the Hank Gathers and those guys out at Loyola Marymount. But, it has stood the test of time now for 7 years.
Yeah, he does a great job with it. Obviously, a lot of similarities to what his brother has done in the NBA. It's a fast-paced game, open floor. They've got good athletes. It's really another opponent while you're out there. It's just it's difficult to defend because as soon as you kind of load up the paint to take away lob opportunities at the rim for their posts, you can tend to overhelp, and now they can pass it around to a whole bunch of guys that can shoot it and shoot it from deep, and so the floor just gets really spread out, and so they're hard to guard. And then you throw on top of that, they got some good players, and you're playing a different style of ball than what you're used to night in and night out. People have different wrinkles to plays and press you and zone you, those kind of things, but you tend to have some of those things in your own toolbox. You've got your own zone, so when a team zones you a lot, it's not foreign. Teams press you, well, you press as well typically, and so you've got press offense to handle that stuff. Rarely you just can't simulate the pace at which they play. It is up and down really fast. They're trying to score in the first 8 seconds of the shot clock. And so they're the fastest playing team in our league. And, it's another obstacle that you face to try to beat those guys.
Friday night score ended up being 107-79. And on the post game, you talked about how you were really happy with the way that you guys played offense and the efficiency that you had there, but we're not happy with the defensive effort against them on night number 1.
Yeah, we just I thought we got we didn't have enough stick-to-itiveness, as my old coach would say. Eddie Biedenbach, he used that term all the time.
And my mother said that too.
So, just one of those deals where they're comfortable because they're used to the fast-paced game. And so the score can swing in a hurry because the number of possessions, to come back from 8, 10, 12 points down in a normal game, if both teams are using 15, 20, 25 seconds off the shot clock, that's going to take some time to kind of grind yourself back into the game. For them, they know when they're down, they can catch you in a hurry because they're going to try to force you into quick shots, and they know they're going to shoot quick shots, so they can catch you in a hurry. When you find yourself down 10, 12 points, I thought, I don't want to use the term we panicked, but I thought we somewhat were, whether it's, you use the term panic, frustrated, not patient, and all of a sudden you could start taking some quick shots to try to get yourself back in the game. And now you're just feeding right into what they want you to do. And so all of a sudden, when they took the lead, we kind of fed into their run. And now all of a sudden we went from 7, 8, 10 down to now you're down 15, 17, 18 to a really good basketball team on their home floor.
Yep, and they win it by a score of 107-79. Nick McDevitt Live is brought to you in part tonight by Lee Company. Blue Raider fans, get ahead of the game with the best home services team in town for your heating, air conditioning, plumbing, electrical, and home improvement needs. Lee Company is the team to call, 615-867-1000 or leecompany.com. McDevitt.com. We'll take a break and we'll hear from our friends from Middle Tennessee Electric and more with Coach Nick McDevitt after this on the Blue Raider Network from Learfield IMG College.
Congratulations to Ascend Federal Credit Union for being voted Best Credit Union and Best Bank by readers of the Murfreesboro Post. Ascend, the exclusive credit union of Blue Raider Athletics, serving MTSU fans with 6 Rutherford County branches, convenient ATMs, online banking, a mobile app, and 24/7 support by phone. Visit ascend.org to learn more about Ascend's MTSU debit card and annual scholarship. Bank where Blue Raiders belong. Ascend is federally insured by NCUA.
What happens to your decision-making when you drink? Well, after one drink, you feel confident. A few more, and calling your ex at 1 a.m. seems like a great idea. And you're pretty sure the secret to a great taco is 4-day-old macaroni. The bottom line, drunk you doesn't make great decisions. So you're risking a DUI or worse if you count on him to get you home. Plan before you party. Get home safe. Paid for by the Tennessee Highway Safety Office.
Roscoe Brown is proud to be a longtime supporter of MTSU Athletics and your locally owned HVAC and plumbing company. For 80 years, Roscoe Brown has been the trusted name in heating, cooling, and plumbing for Middle Tennessee homeowners and businesses. We provide 24/7 assistance by calling 1-888-MY-ROSCOE. Turn to the experts at Carrier and Roscoe Brown. People you know, a name you trust. Go Blue Raiders.
Roscoe Brown.
RoscoeBrown.com.
With COVID cases on the rise, student and faculty safety is more important than ever. RJ Young provides zero-contact temperature kiosks to scan temperatures of every visitor into a campus building. Paired with a database accessed through a QR code, you can monitor and log critical information for tracing needs. To provide COVID protection on your campus, visit rjyoung.com/safety.
Make a fast break for Bunny Bread, proud supporter of the Blue Raiders. With its soft, fresh taste you know and love, Bunny Bread and Bunny Buns are fan favorites for all ages. Bunny is the perfect three-pointer with the taste you want, the nutrition you need, and energy to go. So score big with Bunny Bread and Bunny Buns today and cheer the Blue Raiders on to victory.
That's what I said. Bunny Bread.
Murfreesboro Medical Clinic is proud to be the official medical group of MTSU Athletics. We all win big when we work as a team for better health. Just like MTSU's athletes and coaches, our healthcare professionals work tirelessly to make our community proud. At MMC, we really are true blue. MTSU is our hometown team, and your health is our mission. Visit mmclinic.com or call us at 615-893-4480.
News Radio WGNS, the flagship station for Blue Raider sports.
Nick McDevitt live, brought to you in part by Middle Tennessee Electric, and Jay Sanders, the Community Relations Coordinator for Middle Tennessee Electric, joined us to talk about their philanthropic endeavor, Sharing Change. And Jay, tell folks what that is.
Sure. Sharing Change is Middle Tennessee Electric's charitable foundation. The sole purpose of the foundation is to give back to the communities that we serve.
Well, I'm a member, and anybody who is a customer of Middle Tennessee Electric can take part. How do we do that?
For members like yourself, you can donate by rounding up your bill, one-time donations, or by donating a set amount each month. If you would like to participate, you can do so by visiting sharingchange.org. You can give Middle Tennessee Electric a call at 1-877-777-9020, or you can simply log into the My MTEMC app on your smart device and sign up for Sharing Change today.
Well, it's my understanding that great nonprofits like Endure Athletics, Special Kids, and others throughout the mid-state have received funds from Sharing Change. How do they go about utilizing them?
Well, that's correct, Chip. Middle Tennessee Electric Sharing Change has awarded several $1 million to hundreds of local nonprofits over the years. These grants to local nonprofits directly benefit the members of Middle Tennessee Electric. For instance, Special Kids, a local nonprofit in Murfreesboro, Tennessee, provides therapy to children with disabilities. Or Endure Athletics, which is located in Murfreesboro, Tennessee, provides a mentorship program for at-risk youth. Nourish Food Bank, they're also in Rutherford County, and they provide food to those that are in need. And then there's the Red Cross as well, and they provide assistance to almost every resident who has endured a home fire throughout Rutherford County.
Well, Jay, it's a great program, and I hope that people will take advantage of it. Thank you and MTE for all you do for our area.
Absolutely. Thank you, Chip, and go Blue Raiders.
All right. Thanks to Jay Sanders and Middle Tennessee Electric. Our show brought to you as well by Garrett Grandis and Associates, certified public accountant specializing in business and personal accounting and tax services. Grandis and Associates, 615-895-1040 and online at gcpas.com. I want to remind you, if you want to get questions in for Coach in the second half hour about Blue Raider basketball or about NASCAR racing, you can do that at radio@goblueraiders.com. And yes, we will touch on some of that in the second half. Going from Friday night to Saturday, you did have a lot of guys who played a lot of minutes this past weekend, but really the way that you go about preparing from game one to game two on these back-to-back days really doesn't change a whole lot. And you need to unmute yourself.
Thanks, Chip. You're right. Not a lot. You know, you're not going to be able to, as we've said before, kind of reinvent the wheel and get out there and do something completely different over the course of 2 or 3 days on the floor and getting ready for the next game. So, you know, it was just kind of what it's been over the last several weeks of this back-to-back conference play format. And that's, you know, late night after game one, watching the film, getting together with the staff, trying to figure out what did we do well, what did we not do well, and, you know, come up with a game plan for the next day. And, you know, that's really what we did.
You led late in the first half on Friday night. You had the lead in the second half on Saturday. And they have the ability to, I mean, a 10-point lead by either yourself is not much or by them is not much. I mean, it can turn on a dime, and both games did.
Absolutely. You know, and we were, there were a couple of big plays in particular in that second game that they made a couple of critical shots, and we had a couple of possessions where we just needed a basket, you know, where we had a transition opportunity with a 6 or 7 point game with about 3 to go. And we missed an opportunity. They came down and scored. And now all of a sudden, instead of a 4 or 5 point game, it's right back to a 9 point game. And those are big swings when it's getting down to crunch time. Late game, shot clock was coming down. We'd switched on ball action, and now DeAndre Dishman was guarding Jared West. We talked about in the pregame show how he's kind of that guy that he wants to take the big shot, even though they've got a stud in Tavion Kinsey who's going to be a pro on their team. Jared West is the guy that makes that team go, and he made a huge late shot clock 3 over Dish. With just a couple minutes to go when the game is still in limbo at that point, although a 9 or 10 point game, I think it was a 9 point game, he makes that 3. Now it's a 12 point game. And that was a big shot in the game.
Yeah. And, you know, Jared West had a 29 point game on Saturday. Kinsey, I think he had 25 both days and he's just smooth as silk. Now, Jalen Jordan, for you, scored 47 in 2 games, and you know would definitely be in the conversation for player of the week, except Tavion Kinsey sitting on the other side of the floor that night. But Jalen and Jordan in particular, I thought, and Dish on Saturday really were comfortable in their skin playing in this type of environment.
No, there's no doubt. I think over the last 4 games, our team has gotten into a pretty good offensive flow, and in large part because of the guys you just mentioned, in addition to JV Milner Chris. I think he had 16 on Saturday. Those 4 guys just look comfortable. And you think back to the Charlotte series, this series with Marshall, we're averaging right at 76 points a game over the last 4. And that's something that our team had struggled with clearly for the first half of the year, just being inconsistent offensively, and in some degree inconsistent with who's playing night in and night out. And now those guys are just starting to get into a little bit of a practice rhythm, a game rhythm. We tweaked some things offensively that's helped our floor spacing out, our rhythm out, and we're going to add another really good offensive player in Donovan Sims this week. And so, obviously the hope and what I foresee happening is for a guy like Don to be able to come in and only add to that. And so if we can keep our offensive flow where it's been and continue to guard the way we have all year, although we didn't guard very well Friday night against Marshall, it's kind of a different beast guarding that system and guarding those players. If we can, maintain where we've been defending all year and at the same time maintain what we've been doing over the last couple of weeks offensively, then these last several weeks here could be a lot of fun.
All right. We need to take a timeout. Nick McDevitt Live is brought to you in part by the Daily News Journal, Rutherford County's first source for news, sports, and much more. Visit dnj.com today. We will take a look around Conference USA and bring up who knows what in the next segment. So stick with us here on Nick McDevitt Live on the Blue Raider Network from Learfield, IMG College.
Build a safer campus with security cameras by RJ Young. Our security cameras are limitlessly smart, scalable, and simple to use. Schools are choosing our security systems as they can be monitored from anywhere and give instant alerts. With COVID cases on the rise, the camera's environmental sensors conduct heat mapping to monitor high traffic areas so you know where to sanitize often. To provide protection to your campus, visit rjyoung.com/safety.
Ascension St. Thomas. Care is more than a word. Care is serving our patients, standing with them in times of need, and showing compassion when they're at their most vulnerable. Care is listening and delivering personalized plans from a team of specialists, providing leading-edge treatments at every step. At Ascension St. Thomas, care is more than a word. It's our calling. Make your next appointment at getsthealthcare.com.
At TriGreen, we stand behind you with smart solutions to keep your property looking its best. Like our Smart Savings event, where you can get a 1023E tractor for just $90 per month. That's with 0% financing for 84 months. Find more smart savings at TriGreenEquipment.com.
Offer ends 1/31/2021, subject to approved installment credit with John Deere Financial. Some restrictions apply. See dealer for details.
The MTSU Alumni Association is proud of its more than 130,000 living alumni who are leading, teaching, entertaining, researching, buying, farming, nursing, and more worldwide. Every Blue Raider accomplishment adds value to your degree. Are you connected to the MTSU National Alumni Association? Visit mtalumni.com to share what you're doing, update your information, and see how you can be involved and informed. You can also follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Any way you slice it, your game day won't be complete without soft, delicious Bunny Bread and Bunny Buns, an official corporate partner of Blue Raider Athletics. Whether you're watching with friends, cheering in the stands, or tuning in at home, count on Bunny to help block your hunger and give you energy. So pick up some Bunny Buns and Bunny Bread today. It's sure to be a slam dunk.
That's what I said. Bunny Bread.
What happens to your decision making when you drink? Well, after one drink, you feel confident. A few more, and calling your ex at 1 a.m. seems like a great idea. And you're pretty sure the secret to a great taco is 4-day-old macaroni. The bottom line, drunk you doesn't make great decisions. So you're risking a DUI or worse if you count on him to get you home. Plan before you party. Get home safe. Paid for by the Tennessee Highway Safety Office.
News Radio WGNS, the flagship station for Blue Raider sports.
Welcome back into Nick McDevitt Live, presented by Middle Tennessee Electric, your locally owned electric cooperative and trusted energy advisor. And Snow day here in Murfreesboro, or ice day, sleet day, whatever you want to call it. But we did not go to campus, so we come to you tonight via Zoom. And those who are fortunate enough to be seeing us on video can see that I went with the MT hockey goalie sweater today. I thought it was just the right weather for that. Coach McDevitt up in his office upstairs at his home and donning the Blue Raider gear there. What was snow day like for Cooper and Katie today?
Oh shoot, they were with Lauren most of the day, just as far as taking she was taking care of them and entertaining them while I was on the phone for a good portion of the day, talking to staff and players and coaches and that sort of stuff. Still trying to get some work done.
Did they get outside in it at all?
They thought it was hysterical how they've got a couple basketball goals outside, and the sleet, the freezing rain had caused the nets for the basketball goal to freeze solid. And so they were out there trying to mess with them, and they just thought it was hilarious how the net was frozen stiff. So yeah, they got out there for a little bit, but not too much. It's not quite like going out there and playing in snow where you can throw it around. It's different, but they got out there for a little bit anyway.
I tell you, I saw some videos of some folks. This was incredible sledding weather because of the ice and not thick snow. So I mean, it was just taking off on people. So that would have been fun.
There was definitely some kids in the neighborhood taking advantage of it with sleds right in the middle of the road. Somebody dragging them or whatever. They were definitely taking advantage of it.
Absolutely. Nathan may shoot me here, but I'm gonna grab my screen here and share it for folks who are watching. This is the latest net rankings as we head down the stretch in college basketball. And what I wanted to show here at number 68 is Marshall. And after this weekend, Marshall is now the highest rated team in the net rankings from Conference USA. You have Marshall at 68. You've got North Texas, who has jumped up to 72. Western Kentucky 75, and UAB, who was number one, has now dropped down to number 79. So, Coach, kind of give folks a little bit of what this weekend did to how postseason fortunes of conference teams were tied to. There was a lot of switching around this week.
There was, and you look at those top teams right there. That's almost been in order if you take out Charlotte our last several weeks, and
yes.
So we're right there with that's several difficult weeks in a row. But a lot of things can happen in a short amount of time when you're playing 2 games in 2 days. And so the shuffling that happened in a hurry was seen. You look at what I believe you mentioned earlier, La Tech with UAB, and all of a sudden the west side of the league standings has changed a little bit.
Certainly has, and it just goes to show that you've got to play all these games, as many as you can. Like right now. In the league, you weren't able to get any more distance between yourself and FIU over the weekend, but you also were not able to gain any ground on FAU. Right now, you've played 12 conference games. They've only played 8, and they will only play 14 at the most, and you have an opportunity to play all your 18. So looking at standings this season is different than normal because you don't necessarily look at just wins and losses.
That's right. You've got to look at winning percentage as well. Obviously, with FAU, we had our game with them rescheduled. one of the ones that they lost that they will not make up, from what we can tell, is their series with Western Kentucky. So when you're trying to catch someone, that's part of what you have to look at is who do they play, or how many games do they play, and the difficulty of the opponent. Where is it? How many days rest do they have? And obviously all that affects where you can be seated in the conference tournament.
Yeah, you're trying to grab wins and you're trying to hang losses on those people who you're chasing. So it's all part of that game. We need to take a timeout, and we will have more with Coach Nick McDevitt right after this on the Blue Raider Network from Learfield IMG College.
Love getting prices that are lower than low on backyard favorites like grill-ready hamburgers and fresh-picked strawberries? Then shop at Kroger. We give you more ways to save on the fresh you love with tools like the Kroger app, where you can find personalized coupons on top of weekly sales, plus rewards like fuel points, giving you prices that are lower than the everyday low. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
What do you think of when you hear community, integrity, commitment, tradition, and partners? The folks at Sodexo know it's family, friends, neighbors, and coworkers, the people we live with, work with, share our world with, and the fans we love to serve. Sodexo is community. It's a community of more than 200 employees and nonprofit volunteers and the thousands of fans we serve at MTSU. Sodexo is a community of people who are committed to enhancing your game day experience. Sodexo, proud server of your game day concession needs and proud to serve the Blue Raiders.
We welcome you now to Skateboard Vert. On the deck, it's the extreme one, Tristan Jaden, dropping in, and whoa, no way!
Did he just frontside, backside that?
He did, Brooks. He hit the front of that Extreme Cash instant game, flipped it, scratched the back, and this crowd is loving it.
We've seen extreme tricks before, Ryder, but I don't know how you top this. I really don't.
Take your fun to the extreme with Extreme Cash games, only from the Tennessee Lottery.
Game-changing fun. Please play responsibly.
Put Lee Company on your team and you'll always be ahead of the game with home maintenance, improvements, and repair. Sign up for a Lee Company home maintenance plan to have your heating and air conditioning system tuned up twice a year. In addition, you'll receive a comprehensive electrical and plumbing home inspection, plus member-only discounts and priority service, all for as low as $8.25 a month. For the very best electrical, heating, air conditioning, and plumbing services, call Lee Company at 615-867-1000 or visit leecompany.com.
At TriGreen, we stand behind you with smart solutions to keep your property looking its best. Like our Smart Savings event, where you can get a 1023E tractor for just $90 per month. That's with 0% financing for 84 months. Find more smart savings at TriGreenEquipment.com.
Offer ends 1/31/2021, subject to approved installment credit with John Deere Financial. Some restrictions apply. See dealer for details.
Time to try green. It's time to try green.
Hey, Blue Raider fans, this is Dr. Mark Hardison with Middle Tennessee Oral and Implant Surgery. We are so proud to be able to serve the Blue Raider teams and their families when they need wisdom teeth removed, dental implants, or other specialty oral care. Our mission is to provide health care as it should be, providing compassion, availability, and excellence to every one of our patients. We deeply appreciate the support of your business as we join in supporting our team. Let's go Blue!
News Radio WGNS, the flagship station for Blue Raider sports.
Welcome back, and Dr. Robert Thompson of TOA joins us today. And Dr. Thompson, here everybody's been off for Christmas. They've had time out and about. They've tried to be active, and sure enough, they probably went through the yard and rolled their ankle and had some sort of sprain. So kind of give us an idea of, how light can they be, how severe can they be, and what do folks need to do?
Sure. Well, just like anything, everything is a spectrum in terms of the amount of damage that they do, and really that has a implication for how long it's going to shut them down as well. But probably the most common thing I hear in my office is I stepped in a hole in the yard and rolled it. So, you picked a perfect phrase for that. So I would say it mainly just depends on how much swelling you see, how much bruising, and everyone overall has good potential for improvement. Probably overall 90% of people do fine without needing anything surgically, even if you have a pretty nasty ankle sprain. But the main thing is starting with the classics of what's called RICE therapy, RICE, rest, ice, compression, and elevation. And then the main thing too is just understanding that if you have more concern, come in and be seen. We'll bring you in, get an X-ray to make sure there's nothing else going on.
I was going to ask you, what would be the threshold of somebody, needing to come in and have it taken a look at professionally?
Sure. Well, we see ankle sprains commonly, and it's something that you don't always know if it's a sprain or a fracture either way. So if you have concern, making sure that you get in to be seen is appropriate. And then another thing too, just from an expectation standpoint, if you don't feel like you're making progress, that's another thing to have you come in and be seen. People will often describe hearing or feeling a painful pop, and that can be bone. It could also be ligament tearing and stretching as well.
All right. Well, that's the good news today from Dr. Robert Thompson, how you can stay in the game from TOA. TOA 65 specialists are expert in bones, joints, and muscles and have the expertise to get you back in the game. With the convenience of 18 locations and 3 urgent care clinics, they've got you covered. To request an appointment, visit TOA.com or call 855-NEED-TOA. Well, if you know Coach McDevitt at all outside of basketball, one of the things he loves is NASCAR racing. And, of course, this past weekend, was the Daytona 500 and all that led up to it during speed weeks in Daytona. He's a big Chase Elliott fan, so he got to have bragging rights all during the what they like to call the silly season in NASCAR. And his man didn't take the checkers last night, but second in a crazy finish at Daytona. And first of all, I wasn't sure they would ever get the race in yesterday.
It was a long day for those people at the track, for sure. They had a long weather delay, and I guess it was on lap 14 or 15. You had about 10, 12 really good cars taken out, and that's tough when you're one of those guys where you've worked for months and months and months for that race, and to go out there and race for about 12, 14 laps that's a tough way to go out.
And those guys, they just had to be sick.
Had to be sick. I don't know what makes you more sick, going out after 14 laps, or if you're Joey Logano or Brad Keselowski and you can darn near see the start finish line when you're going into turn 3 on the last lap of the Daytona 500 running 1-2. And you don't cross the finish line. That I don't know which one would be more difficult.
Now, it was also the 20th anniversary of Dale Earnhardt's death. Mm-hmm. That would have put you as a teenager or, getting close to 20 years old. Was he one of the guys that got you into being a fan of racing?
He did, mainly because I pulled against him. And
oh, really?
Since then, the more you learn about him, the more you just grow admiration for what he was, who he was, what he meant to the sport, how smart he was with marketing his rivalry with Jeff Gordon. I grew up a Bill Elliott fan because that's who my dad cheered for. That's why I pulled for Chase now, his son. As I grew up a Bill Elliott fan. Well, my Uncle Ricky, my dad's brother, was a big Dale Sr. fan. And so Sunday afternoons after church at my grandmother's house, we all sat around the TV and watched NASCAR, watched the race, and listening to those guys go back. My dad and my uncle go back and forth on drivers and, seniors wrecking everybody. And my uncle saying, well, Bill Elliott just likes to ride around in the back and just, coast around. Those were fun days. And that's really what got me into it. And so I pulled for Jeff Gordon, but hearing about Dale Sr. and Jeff Gordon's public relationship where there seemed to be friction, some of that was strategic from Dale Sr.
It's like wrestling. You got baby faces and heels. And that's what you had.
And what you find out later is they had a close relationship in private, but they kind of stoked that rivalry publicly to generate more fanfare and publicity and popularity for the sport, and in large part because Dale Sr. Had the rights to merchandising sales, not only for his own stuff but for the other drivers. So he was making money on T-shirt sales and hat sales and merchandising sales for every driver. So the more popular the sport was, the better off they did. I mean, you see Jeff Gordon was rainbow colors and Dale Senior was black, the Intimidator. You got Coca-Cola and Pepsi. So there was you do this and I'm going the other way. And they sold it. And it had NASCAR at the height of its popularity when those two guys were going at it on the track.
Well, and that takes me back to those early 90s when, I'm related distantly to Sterling Marlin, and you had the Kodak Chevrolet, you had the DuPont Chevrolet, you had the Goodwrench Chevrolet, you had and you had a lot of those guys that really had such a great ton of personality. And I'm like you, I didn't like Earnhardt at all. But the more you learn about him later on, the more that you obviously respect him. And
I miss him.
And you miss him. And in his death, there was a gift given to racing in that it really sounded the alarm on safety, and there has not been a fatality in any of the three NASCAR major touring series since then. And that, a lot of that is a tribute to Dale Earnhardt.
Yeah, that's right. And when you lose someone of his stature from the sport in the biggest stage, talk about the Daytona 500, and the sport's biggest star loses his life on the biggest stage. It grabbed everybody's attention. And if I'm not mistaken, he was either the third or fourth driver that had died within a year's time on the track. And NASCAR made some sweeping changes. I think only 6 drivers, if I remember correctly, were wearing the Hans device during that race 20 years ago, the Daytona 500. Now everybody has to wear them. You talk about the safer barriers on the walls.
Yep.
It's incredible seeing. You think about what we saw last year with Ryan Newman and his wreck, and to survive that and walk out of a hospital 2 or 3 days later is incredible.
Yep. And that brings us to 5 random questions for the head coach. All right. Snow day. What you may have already given us the answer. What's your best snow day memory?
Oh, 93. March of 93, the blizzard.
Yep. Have you ever gotten caught on the road with a team due to snow?
No, we've never been stuck in snow.
Knock on wood.
Knock on wood. We got really lucky. We avoided all of it going up to Huntington and back this past weekend.
Exactly. Okay, it is President's Day, so a couple of presidential trivia questions here. What president turned down offers to play professional football?
I don't know.
Gerald Ford. Played at Michigan. Was actually a very good player at Michigan and was had offers from both the Lions and the Packers. Instead, he went and was an assistant coach at Yale and got his law degree. So
really, Gerald Ford.
Yeah. Now, which president is probably the most talented musically? You're not going to get this one. Most people would say Bill Clinton because he played the saxophone, but Richard Nixon not only was classically trained on the piano, but also could play the violin, the clarinet, saxophone, and the accordion. And actually played a song on the old Jack Parr program, which was a predecessor to The Tonight Show. So interesting.
Keep bringing it. I'm learning.
All right. Growing up in the mountains of North Carolina, were you a good skier?
I can water ski.
Not snow ski.
I've never snow skied. Never tried.
Me
never
either.
tried. I was, my cousin. He took a spill when I was maybe a junior in high school, and he hurt himself pretty bad, and so he ended up in the hospital for a couple of days. And I said that I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that, and not playing, missing a basketball season.
Yep, that's a broken leg waiting to happen. We need to take a quick time out and be back for our final segment with Coach McDevitt right after this on the Blue Raider Network from Learfield IMG College.
Murfreesboro Medical Clinic is proud to be the official medical group of MTSU Athletics. We all win big when we work as a team for better health. Just like MTSU's athletes and coaches, our healthcare professionals work tirelessly to make our community proud. At MMC, we really are true blue. MTSU is our hometown team, and your health is our mission. Visit mmclinic.com or call us at 615-893-4480.
Let's go out west. Camp at the base of a mountain, get some fresh air.
Yes, let's go camping with air conditioning.
We can be hundreds of miles away from the closest person. Really live off the grid.
Love the off-the-grid part, but with Wi-Fi. Whether you're the serious camper or occasional glamper, Ascend offers low rates and flexible terms on RV loans. You can apply online at ascend.org or any of our branch locations. RV loans from Ascend Federal Credit Union.
The DoubleTree by Hilton Murfreesboro is the perfect place for your next close-to-home getaway for a change of pace or to plan your next event for 2021. Located just off I-24, 30 miles south of Nashville, and situated only minutes from Middle Tennessee State University. With Hilton's clean stay and event-ready initiatives in place, you can rest assured they're taking every precaution for you to have a safe and enjoyable stay. We'll make your stay an unforgettable experience. Don't forget the cookie. Roscoe Brown is proud to be a longtime supporter of MTSU Athletics and your locally owned HVAC and plumbing company. For 80 years, Roscoe Brown has been the trusted name in heating, cooling, and plumbing for Middle Tennessee homeowners and businesses. We provide 24/7 assistance by calling 1-888-MY-ROSCOE. Turn to the experts at Carrier and Roscoe Brown. People you know, a name you trust. Go Blue Raiders.
Roscoe Brown.
RoscoeBrown.com.
News Radio WGNS, the flagship station for Blue Raider sports.
Final segment with Coach Nick McDevitt, and happy to be in our warm homes, but we're missing our party foul tonight. Nashville hot chicken, local brews and craft cocktails, great food, great drinks, great music, party foul. Little housekeeping as we wrap up tonight. Jake Wallman has been our audio producer. Nathan Wallach did a great job pulling everything together. Happy birthday to Kyle Turnham, who my partner. Wish him luck this week. And Louisiana Tech coming in, Coach. They are good.
They are good. Eric Conkle does a terrific job with them. They're kind of just steady Eddie year in and year out with their program. Tough guys, really good guard play. They've got a terrific young freshman, Kenneth Lofton. He's big. I mean, he's 6'7", about 275, 280 pounds. A really big boy, and has soft hands, good feet. He's going to be a really good player in this league. He's been named the freshman of the week probably about a half dozen times already. Just kind of a double guy. Look at the box scores, and it seems like every other night he's somewhere around 13, 14 points and 8, 9, 10, 11 rebounds, and he's good. He's tough.
They have several others as well that you'll get to see on Friday night, but they've got in conference play 5 guys that average between 9 and 13 points a game.
Yeah, they're really well balanced. A tough group. Again, their guards are can really get after you, defend you, play in the paint. They're not kind of a one-headed monster type of team. I think there's 17 wins overall. So tough group.
All right. We'll see you Friday night.
Sounds great.
All right. That'll do it for us. For Coach McDevitt, Chip Walter saying good night for the Blue Raider Network in Learfield, IMG College.
This has been Nick McDevitt.